State University Marine Laboratory. Right now I'm outside at our touch tank. Today I'm going to be describing a little bit about the organisms that we have here and some of their body shapes. So first off, touch tank, always got to roll up your sleeves so you don't get the cold water all over you. And then we're going to go on in and look at our first specimen. So right here we have a leather star. And to show you real quick, this is its stomach. So its stomach is in the center of its body, and it sucks into and out of its structure to digest its food. So right now, this sea star's stomach just closed up at its mouth, but if it was to eat a mussel, what it would do is it would expand out of here, surround the mussel, and go in between the shells and digest the organism inside, and then suck all of that liquid back into its body for the nutrients. These leather stars are quite colorful. They have very colorful red and brown lines on them. Oftentimes they look orangish or brown or gray, and each one has this special cell and structure right here called the Madreporite. So a little bit off the center, in between two arms, is where the Madreporite is located on the leather star. And what this is a special opening for this leather star to suck water into its body. It goes through its ring canal out into each arm, and as the water gets pushed out, it'll push into a tube foot and allow it to extend and suck onto something. And then it can retract that water and create a tight suction using hydrostatic power. So after it sucks on, it can use more water to release. So it push water into that tube foot and release it back into its body and pull down. So that's what we can see here at each part of their arm, where the tube foot is reaching out and searching for water. And as it does this, it's actually pushing water out of the entire body of the sea star, which is why it's dripping right now. So it's reaching out and looking for the space that it needs to move to get out of the air. So I'm going to go ahead and put this friend back, and we'll look at our next specimen. This right here is my favorite sea urchin. His name is Henry, and this is a red sea urchin. So I'm actually holding him on my hand. The spines aren't poking me, they're not painful. They're just like if you were to hold like a pretty pokey like pine cone or something. That's kind of what it feels like. I'm gonna go ahead and turn Henry around so we can look at his mouth. So at the bottom of sea urchins is their mouth, and this is called an Aristotles Lantern. So as I touch it, you can see this little white star shape coming out. And that is their specialized jaw that works like a star, opening and closing, opening and closing. And what they eat with this mouth is seaweed. So sea urchins love seaweed, and they especially love bull kelp. So that's what this one would love to eat right now. You can see the sea urchins have their spines, which move around a lot. If you can see, Henry's moving all of his spines in little rotations to try and search for water. And then they also have the same tube feet that sea stars have, because they're in the same phylum, Echinodermata. So I'm going to put Henry in the water, and we're going to see if we can find his tube feet. So as I put him in and twirl him around, do you see those red noodle-like structures coming out between the spines? All of those are their tube feet. So those are Henry's tube feet, reaching out and looking for something to hold on to. There's one right there. Awesome. We'll look at our next specimen. All right. So right here we have a sea cucumber. This is a California sea cucumber, and they have these long orange spikes on their bodies. But this is actually an incredibly soft animal. It's very, very smooth, and when I pet it, it feels like I'm petting, kind of like a leather couch almost, or maybe like a fuzzy jacket. And these sea cucumbers also have tube feet. All of these little red dots on the bottom of their body are their tube feet. And these are in the same phylum as the sea stars and the sea urchins, Echinodermata. And they eat really a lot of detritus and sand and broken down algae. And sea cucumbers are incredibly important for their locations across the world because sea cucumbers actually reduce the effects of ocean acidification, which is one of the main reasons why they help their ecosystems, but they also support creating more substrate, and they don't have very many predators because their bodies are so gelatinous and squishy that nothing really likes to eat them that much. Another fun fact about sea cucumbers is that when they get stressed, they can actually expel all of their organs out of their body. So they can like throw up their organs and leave them for a predator, and then they'll actually be able to regrow their organs after a long period of time. But we don't want to stress out this sea cucumber too much, so I'm going to go ahead and put them back. Another animal that we have in here is a mussel. So right here we have some mussels, and this one is a California blue mussel. And you can actually see on the shell there are some little baby barnacles growing along the outside, which is pretty common. And then all of these strings are called the Byssal Threads of the mussel. And this one looks like it might have been getting munched on by a sea cucumber because it's closed really, really tight right now. So the sea star was most likely wrapped around this trying to eat its insides. Sea cucumbers don't eat mussels, sorry. All right. This is our last species in here. This is a Pacific sea star. It's also known as a purple star, and the scientific name is Pisaster ocraceus. So this one is actually munching on a snail right now. So it's got the snail trapped on its body, and it's most likely going to have its stomach out and into that shell, digesting the snail's body, and then it'll pull the nutrients back into its body for the sea star. And this one is pretty cool because it has these hard spikes on the outside, and this is one of the main ways that this sea star protects itself from predators. So it feels a lot different than the leather star. Awesome. So this is a giant green sea anemone, and this one has its tentacles all closed up inside its body. And this is the base of the anemone, which will settle onto this rock or hard substrate. So they don't ever leave their rocks, but anemones actually have the ability to move themselves. So I didn't realize this until I saw that these anemones inside our tank were moving around. So when they want to, they can actually remove themselves from their substrate and take their base and scoot to some other location. So maybe that is to get some more food or to avoid some predators or competition with other anemones. But they have that ability. So when you look in the tank, you can see ones with their tentacles out. As they have their tentacles out, each one of them has these specialized cells called nematocysts on them. And the nematocysts work like little bow and arrows, and they're fired out when they are triggered, and they capture their prey and then pull them back into the mouth of the anemone.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It would really mean a lot if you guys could donate. I'm going to post the link down here. It would help us keep our animals alive and our facility running through this really hard time right now. Thank you.